Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to today's Explainer. We are unpacking a truly massive release from Alibaba's AI division today, one that is fundamentally changing how we interact with, test, and deploy large language models. We're looking at Qwen Studio. Now, if you've been following the rapid evolution of the Qwen model family, you already know they've quietly built one of the most capable open-weight lineups on the planet. But this latest move? It isn't just about a new model, it's about the platform that brings the whole shebang together.
But before we get into the technical architecture, let me ask you something. Be honest, are you tired of stitching together multiple AI APIs? I mean, think about your current workflow for a second. If you want state-of-the-art vision processing, you probably go to one provider. Need deep, long-chain reasoning? You go to another. If you're looking for image generation, web search, or document processing, you're constantly bouncing between different tabs, local setups, or dealing with really complex, fragmented API integrations. It's exhausting, right? It just creates so much friction for developers and power users.
Well, AI News actually summed up the core premise here perfectly. They wrote, Qwen Studio is Alibaba's unified web platform, consolidating multiple AI capabilities that were previously scattered. And that right there is exactly what we are exploring today. Qwen Studio is the ultimate hosted surface located at Qwen.ai that brings the entire Qwen model family under one roof. And the best part? Absolutely zero local setup required.
So let's get into Section 1, the all-in-one toolkit, inside QWN.ai.
When we actually look under the hood to see how this plays out practically, the sheer breadth of what is included in a single interface is literally staggering. Most comparable hosted platforms cover maybe a few of these, but rarely all of them at once. For standard chat and advanced reasoning, the studio leverages models like QQ to handle that complex long-chain logic. For multimodal vision, it taps into Qwen 2.5 VL, so you can just drop in images or video and have the model analyze them instantly. It's even got image generation powered by their WANX and Velo models for precise editing and from-scratch creation. But the really brilliant part is how it combines all those native AI capabilities with everyday utility. We're talking document processing for your PDFs, real-time web search, and a dedicated workspace for code and output artifacts. You get all of this in one continuous session.
And out of all those features, there's one I absolutely have to highlight: deep research. This is an intelligent agent system built directly into the studio. It doesn't just do a quick web search. It leverages the internet to perform autonomous, multi-step searches and analytical summaries. It's specifically designed to deliver comprehensive, easy-to-read reports for highly complex tasks. So what does this mean for you? It means those tedious research tasks that used to take you hours can now be handled by this agent in just a few minutes. It is wild.
Moving right along to Section 2, the open-weight powerhouse, evaluating before deploying.
Okay, so while Qwen Studio is obviously a fantastic consumer tool, its real magic really shines through the lens of a developer. If you're building AI applications, there's a logical flow you have to follow, right? You shouldn't be blindly downloading massive weights and spending days configuring a server just to find out a model doesn't quite fit your use case. Instead, Qwen Studio serves as your zero setup sandbox. It's hands down the fastest path to testing. You evaluate how the model handles your specific prompts, check out its vision processing, see how it outputs code artifacts, and then, once you've validated the behavior, you seamlessly transition to self-hosting. You get full control, pulling the open-source checkpoints straight from Hugging Face and deploying them using high-performance frameworks like VLM or SGLang.
And speaking of those open-source models, this number is just mind-blowing: 235 billion. The Qwen 3 model family isn't just a handful of options. It scales dynamically. It ranges all the way from lightweight sub-1 billion parameter models that you can run on edge devices, all the way up to this massive 235 billion parameter mixture of experts model, specifically the Qwen 3 235B A20B. Having a web studio where you can casually test a model of that immense scale before trying to provision the massive GPU architecture to host it yourself, that is incredibly valuable.
Which brings us to Section 3, developer tools and deployment, controlling the thinking. Let's dive a little deeper into the technical weeds here and focus on a brand new capability, actually controlling the model's thinking. The official documentation breaks down the control mechanisms for developers perfectly. Qwen 3 models automatically generate a think block to reason through complex problems before responding. But as a developer, you don't always want to pay for that latency, right? So the docs outline two switches. First, the hard switch. By setting enable thinking equals false in your code formatting, you strictly disable the behavior, aligning it with older instruct models for maximum efficiency. Second, there's the soft switch. You can literally just append /think or /not-think to your system messages or user prompts. This is awesome because it allows the model to switch modes dynamically on the fly during a multi-turn conversation.
There's also this really cool concept they introduced called a thinking budget, which basically allows you to cap reasoning time. Now, if you're using the Alibaba Cloud API, this is handled natively for you. But if you're an open-source developer self-hosting the models, the documentation outlines a super clever workaround, a two-pass generation method. You generate tokens up to your budget limit, check if the thinking process is finished, and if it isn't, you inject an early stopping prompt to force the model to summarize. Then you run the generation a second time to get the final answer. It's a brilliant way to keep latency in check while still taking advantage of advanced reasoning.
All right, section 4, the terminal agent, leaving the browser behind. Look, for a lot of developers, the web browser is just a distraction. To meet you where you actually do your work, enter Qwen Code. Guys, this is such an exciting release. It's an open-source AI agent that lives natively in your terminal. It co-evolves directly with the Qwen 3 coder model, so instead of you copying and pasting code from the Qwen Studio web interface over to your IDE, Qwen Code brings the AI directly into your codebase. It understands your local files, automates all that tedious refactoring, and ultimately helps you ship software way faster.
Just look at the immense flexibility packed into this CLI tool. First off, it's multi-protocol. That means you aren't locked into Alibaba. You can use it with OpenAI, Anthropic, Gemini, or even your own local Ollama models. It integrates right into VS Code, Zed, and JetBrains. It features a headless mode, so you can plug the AI directly into your automated CI/CD pipelines. It has this hilarious but awesome YOLO mode, which automatically switches to vision processing without you even prompting it the second it detects an image. And finally, a daemon mode, allowing multiple clients to share a single agent session over HTTP. Basically, it offers this premium Claude Code-like experience, but it's completely open source and highly adaptable.
So the crucial takeaway from this explainer today is the sheer versatility of what Alibaba has dropped here. You've got a unified, super powerful web platform to test, ideate, and generate artifacts with zero friction. And on top of that, you have this massive arsenal of open-weight models and terminal agents to actually build and deploy your own software. Which leaves us with one final, exciting question. As you look to integrate these new Qwen models into your own workflow, will you build your ideas in the studio, or will you live in the terminal? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, keep experimenting, and I'll catch you in the next one.